I'm Granny Green Thumb, and today we're going to talk about growing our plants vertically. There's a lot of reasons why that's a good idea. One, it saves space. Space is a premium in most people's garden. It gets the plant up and off the ground from crawly bugs. Lets the wind blow in amongst them and keeps the good airflow, good sunshine. And it also makes it easier to see your crop and to harvest your crop and take care of it. So we're going to talk about some different ways. The first one we're going to talk about is for tomatoes. I have two ways that I've got in my garden this year. This is what's known as a indeterminate tomato. Tomatoes are indeterminate, determinate, and then the ones they can't decide are semi-determinate. But this is indeterminate, and that means it'll just keep growing and growing and growing and growing. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk all year long, fruiting all year long, and they can go out of control. So this method works good for them because you have a main stalk and you tie the string at the top. We've got a wire here, and we just wrap it around the tomato. As it grows, I twist it on more, and we just either tie it to the bottom of the tomato or tie it to a pin, a metal pin, and stab it in the ground. And that gives it the support, but it can still flex. You can trim this up even more. I've kind of let it go, but it doesn't need a cage or anything. That string is plenty. So now we're going to move on to, these are determinate tomatoes, meaning they're going to grow to a certain height. Maybe I might get them 4 feet high, but they like to grow more as a bush. Now the trouble with them growing as a bush is you can't find the tomatoes on the inside. If you put them in a cage, you have to reach through the cage to get to them. You get all cut up, or it can be really messy. So this two-dimensional method works really good. We've got our wire. It's a thicker wire, not like chicken wire, because chicken wire is so thin it would probably cut your plant. But you can buy this. I think this might be concrete wire, but you can get livestock fencing in a roll or in a sheet. And as the plant grows up, you will weave it in and out. And so I can just say, okay, you're going to be right through there. This one, I'm going to have it here to give it support. And I can also use ties. So I'm going to show you two kinds of ties that you can use. This year, I started using these little plastic ties, tomato ties really, and they clamp on like this. So I can put it around a branch and clamp it onto the wire, and they're reusable. Since I know I'm going to grow more tomatoes next year, and then just open them up and save them over the winter. But there's other things you can do. They sell this, it's like plastic tape. It's not sticky at all though, and it breaks off, but it has some give in it. So if you wanted to tie something up, you wouldn't tie it up tight. If I was going to tie this one, I would just tie it loosely like this, so it had some room to give. If you don't want to invest in this little tape, it's probably $4 or $5. You can just cut up t-shirt strips, really narrow. I say t-shirts because it stretches and gives. That's the idea. You wouldn't want to use a twister tie. It has that metal, it could cut your plant. So a t-shirt strip would work good too. My plants, I've trimmed them up. You'll notice it wanted to be a bush, but I trimmed up this side and this side. I keep reminding it that it's really a two-dimensional plant, and I can easily see my fruit. None of it is going to go to waste because it rotted on the inside and I didn't notice it. And it's just a great way to fit a lot of plants in close. Okay, one thing that's good about using these vertical methods is we trim up the leaves here near the bottom. I trimmed off the branches that are super low. It's not bushy. Again, it's to keep air moving and to keep it healthy. So, not just tomatoes can be grown vertically. These are the tomato cages I used to use, where it was kind of hard to get into the tomatoes. And I've repurposed them for vining vegetables. This is a cucumber plant, actually a pickling cucumber. And so I planted them, and I weave them around, and they grow up. I can still use the ties or the clips, but then the little pickles or the cucumbers, they're not pickles yet. They'll grow and they'll be hanging down here, way easier to see, way easier to control. Same with cantaloupe. We love cantaloupe. And cantaloupe are funny. They're growing pretty good now, but once it gets super hot, they'll just shoot right up. They can grow this high, and the cantaloupe can hang down. The stems hold on really tight, and it's a great way to grow your cantaloupe on these wire cages. The last vertical method we're going to show you is using these string nettings. I'm trying this out new too this year. I just like to try out new stuff. And we're planted the beans along the bottom. You can see they're winding up here on their own, and it gives them some support. This is easy to buy. I probably am going to have to put something stronger than a bamboo stick here holding them up down the road as the beans get heavier. But that's another method. There's so many different ways you can use vertical space in your garden. I really suggest it. Big garden or small, using vertical space really helps and makes your garden more productive. If you have any questions or ideas for other videos, email me at askgrannygreenthumb@gmail.com. Have a great day. Bye.